Welcome to St. Paul United Methodist Church and our service today to mark Good Friday. I welcome you here, glad that you are here as we celebrate and remember tonight Jesus' death on a cross and all that it means to us. I invite you to enter into a quiet, meditative space together, to bring your heart and your soul and your body here into this present moment and to worship God even on this darkest day. And so we begin by sharing in a song with our choir. Tonight, as we gather here, we take the time to connect with our lament. Our lament is the ways that our hearts cry out when we experience pain and we long for God to do something about it. We don't always have a lot of spaces in our life of worship where we do collective lament. But we know in the world that we're living in right now and in our personal lives, there is much to lament. And so tonight, as we think about the cross and its meaning in our lives, I want to share with you that I believe the cross is the story of a God who not only hears our cries, but who is with us in our suffering and in our pain. And so as we move through this evening, we will have 3 times where we hear the story of Jesus's time before the trial and then up until it is finished on the cross. And each time we hear the scripture message, it'll be followed by about a minute of silence. And that time is for you to express your laments to God for the things that are troubling your spirit, and for you to be in God's presence, in the silence that is below all things and always there. And so we will share in these moments of silence. We will tell this story. We will express our laments tonight. And as we do, there is always grace. There is always God with us, God's love for us, and God that will never leave us alone. So let us lament in faith, knowing that God is here.
After Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples across the Kidron Valley to a place where there was a garden, and he and his disciples entered. Now Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place because Jesus often met there with his disciples. So Judas brought a detachment of soldiers together with the police from the chief priests and the Pharisees, and they came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Then Jesus, knowing all that was to happen to him, came forward and asked them, "Whom are you looking for?" They answered, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus replied, "I am he." Judas, who betrayed him, was standing with them. When Jesus said to them, "I am he," they stepped back and fell to the ground. Again he asked them, "Whom are you looking for?" And they said, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus answered, "I told you that I am he. So if you are looking for me, let these people go." This was to fulfill the word that he had spoken, "I did not lose a single one of those whom you gave me." Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it, struck the high priest's slave, and cut off his right ear. The slave's name was Malchus. Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword back into its sheath. Am I not to drink the cup that my Father has given me?" So the soldiers, their officer, and the Jewish police arrested Jesus and bound him.
Then Pilate entered the headquarters again. He summoned Jesus and he asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Do you ask me this on your own, or did others tell you about me?" Pilate replied, "I am not a Jew, am I? Your own nation and the chief priests have handed you over to me. What have you done?" Jesus answered him, "My kingdom does not belong to this world. If my kingdom belonged to this world, my followers would be fighting to keep me from being handed over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not from here." Pilate asked him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. Everyone who belongs to the truth listens to my voice." Pilate asked him, "What is truth?" After he had said this, he went out to the Jews again and told them, "I find no case against him, but you have a custom that I release someone to you at the Passover. Do you want me to release you, the King of the Jews?" They shouted in reply, "Not this man, but Barabbas." Now Barabbas was a rebel. Then Pilate took Jesus and had him flogged, and the soldiers wove a crown of thorns and put it upon his head. And they dressed him in a purple robe. They kept coming up to him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews," and striking him on the face. Pilate went out again and said to them, "Look, I am bringing him out to you to let you know that I find no case against him." So Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said to them, "Behold the man." When the chief priests and the police saw him, they shouted, "Crucify him! Crucify him!"
Then he handed him over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus, and carrying the cross by himself, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him 2 others, one on either side, with Jesus between them. Pilate also had an inscription written and put on the cross. It read, "Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews." Many of the Jews read this inscription because the place where Jesus was crucified was near the city, and it was written in Hebrew, in Latin, and in Greek. Then the chief priests of the Jews said to Pilate, "Do not write the King of the Jews, but this man said, 'I am the King of the Jews.'" Pilate answered, "What I have written, I have written." When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his clothes and divided them into 4 parts, one for each soldier. They also took his tunic. Now the tunic was seamless, woven in one piece from the top. So they said to one another, "Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it to see who will get it." This was to fulfill what the scripture says, "They divided my clothes among themselves, and for my clothing they cast lots." And that is what the soldiers did. After this, when Jesus knew that all was now finished, he said, in order to fulfill the scripture, "I am thirsty." A jar full of sour wine was standing there. So they put a spongeful of the wine on a branch of hyssop and held it to his mouth. When Jesus had received the wine, he said, "It is finished." Then he bowed his head and gave up his Spirit.
Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble.